I'm Allison Hunter, Technical Services Manager at the Houston Solutions Center. The Houston Solutions Center is a 20,000 square foot facility dedicated to serving our global industries. These include home care, industrial cleaning, beauty and personal care, CASE, which is coatings, adhesives, sealants, elastomers, metalworking fluids, lubricants, as well as our newest lab, which is the Pharma Lab. We also have a complete analytical lab that serves all of these industries. At Univar Solutions, we stay ahead of industry and formulation trends and regulations. Today's topic is complying with 1,4-dioxane legislation. So what is 1,4-dioxane and where is it found? It's a byproduct formed during production of ethoxylated products. So ethoxylation involves adding ethylene oxide, abbreviated as EO, to a molecule. So the reason EO is added is it's very water-loving and provides surfactancy properties to the product. A lot of different types of materials are produced from ethylene oxide, and so they are going to contain some residual 1,4-dioxane. So how would you know what type of material? So it may have ethoxylate in the name, like ethoxylated alcohols and oils. It might have ether in the name or eth in the name, such as Loreth 6. There may be anionic surfactants that contain ethoxylates, such as sodium laureth sulfate. And then materials containing PEG, which is short for polyethylene glycol in the names. Glycol distearate is another material, and polysorbates, which are followed by a dash and the number, such as polysorbate 20. So these types of materials are used in a wide variety of consumer products, from laundry detergents, dish soaps, shampoos, lotions and creams, degreasing cleaners, all-purpose cleaners, and car wash products, just to name a few. Why is 1,4-dioxane being regulated? It's a chemical of concern by the EPA and many other states and agencies as a suspected human carcinogen. So the New York regulation aims to protect not only consumers, but the environment. The New York regulation limits 1,4-dioxane in cleaning products sold and distributed in New York. It will be less than 2 ppm level by the end of this year in 2022. This level is further reduced to 1 ppm by the end of the year in 2023. These deadlines are rapidly approaching, and products need to meet the new regulation. At Univar Solutions, we have technical resources and we can help to reformulate. First of all, you need to determine the need to reformulate. So we have the residual 1,4-dioxane levels in our different products. We can help calculate and determine where you are. If it's determined that you need to reformulate, reformulation takes a lot of resources and potentially a long lead time for the product development cycle. So the product development cycle involves the initial formulation development, product performance testing, and then you may need to iterate several times to meet your product performance requirements. Stability testing is also something that needs to be completed and optimized, and then scaled up to production capabilities. At Univar Solutions, we can help you accelerate the development cycle of your reformulation efforts to meet the 1,4-dioxane regulation. We have a large portfolio of surfactants, emulsifiers, and other products that provide cleaning performance. So some of these materials include anionic surfactants. These are great primary surfactants. They provide high foaming capability. We have amphoteric surfactants. These are classified as secondary surfactants and can help stabilize foam in products. We carry polyalkyl glucosides. These are non-ionic, bio-derived surfactants, and they're great if you're wanting to make more of a green and sustainable claim. We carry polyglycerol esters, which are again non-ionic and bio-derived surfactants. Ethoxylated alcohols with lower residual 1,4-dioxane, and also natural EO versions are new things coming on the horizon. We have enzymes to help improve cleaning performance, and then we have technical knowledge on how to formulate with all of these materials. In addition, We also offer starting point formulas for customers to review. And a couple of good examples are our Conscientiously Clean Kit, which meets the 1,4 dioxane regulations, as well as a new kit we're launching. It's called Good Powered by Clean. And one of the formulas in there is an athletic laundry detergent, which shows how to formulate with surfactants in addition to enzyme technology. And it provides very good performance while, again, also being 1,4 dioxane compliant.
Hello everyone, my name is Louisa Dixon and I work as a senior chemist in the Household and Industrial Cleaning Department here at Univar Solutions, where today we're going to show you how we process our newly formulated athletic laundry detergent, which is showcased in our upcoming Good Powered by Clean kit. So we have all of our ingredients right here. We have our main mixing vessel, and we're going to start off with our first ingredient, which is water. So we're going to add 58.55% of deionized water. Make sure we zero our scale. We're going to hook up our main mixing vessel to our mixer. Lock it down, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I like to give this a little spin to make sure it's not touching any of the beaker edges. And there we go. Now we want to make sure we get a nice vortex in our water, make sure we get everything mixing. And now it's time for our second ingredient, which is Kathon CG by DuPont. This is our preservative. So this is a mixture of methylchloroisothiazolinone and methyl isothiazolinone. And this is going to go into our main mixing vessel at 0.1%. So just a few drops here. So this is our biocide to make sure that we don't have any bacterial growth in our laundry detergent. And our next ingredient is Acusol 820 from Dow. This is a hydrophobically modified alkali soluble polymer, acrylic polymer, and it has a very low pH. And once we neutralize the pH later on in the batch, this polymer is actually going to swell to give us the typical viscosity of a laundry detergent. So this is going in our formulation at 5.5%. So right now our batch is a milky white color, but you'll see later on down the road, once we neutralize, we'll get that clear appearance that we want. So our next ingredient is our first surfactant, non-ionic surfactant. It's our Cathlon branded alkyl polyglucoside, capryl myristoglucoside to be exact. And this is going in at 6%. Okay, this raw material is going to help with our cleaning ability, and it is a great foam former. All right, 12 grams. Our next ingredient is Novel 1614-8. This is an 8 mole alcohol ethoxylate by Sasol, and it's actually a solid at room temperature. It's liquid now because we had it in 49C, so it's going to help us to incorporate into our mixture right here. So as I mentioned, it is a solid at room temperature, and our batch is at room temperature, so a solid is going to form once we add this to our main mixture, but we just have to wait a little while and everything should solubilize. So we're going to add this in at 12%. So 24 grams here. Let's increase the speed a little bit. Make sure our solids aren't shooting. We need about 10 grams more, and actually we're going to lower the speed because you can see our solid is forming in there and it's throwing our liquid around. We don't want anything to come out of the beaker. All right, 24 grams. And now we wait. So I'm increasing the speed a little bit on this. All right, everyone, and we're back. So our novel 1614-8, the 8 mole ethoxylate, is now in solution. It took about half an hour at room temperature with a mixing speed around 800 for this mixer. And so we're going to move on to our next ingredient, which is from Dow, and it is Acusol CB1. This is a cleaning booster polyol. It is used as an anti-redeposition aid. So basically it's going to make sure that the soils that are on your garments are lifted from the fabric and washed away in the rinse cycle, wash and rinse cycle. So in particular, it's going to attack those oily, greasy soils. All right. So we're going to add 2% of Acusol CB1. And even though my batch looks like it's white, it's actually just aerated. And once we detach the mixer and let it sit at room temperature for maybe about an hour, hour and a half, those air bubbles will dissipate and the batch will be clear. Alrighty, and for those of you who would like to shortcut the waiting time for the novel 1614-8 to go into solution, you can heat the batch, but I just want to warn you that you want to make sure that the batch is brought all the way down to room temperature before you add the Acusol CB1 cleaning booster, because if this goes in at a warm temperature, it will create insoluble particulate matter, and we do not want that. Alrighty, so our next ingredient is a homopolymer acrylic acid from Dow. It's Acusol 445. This Acusol is actually partially neutralized, which is why we're adding it a little further down in the batch process. It's good at anti-precipitating, and so basically it's going to increase the solubility of precipitating salts in the wash media and make sure that you don't get any settling on your clothing. And so we're going to add this in at 1%. Next up, we have our anionic surfactant, which is Rotopex ESP 70 nat from Solvay. This is actually a natural sodium lauryl sulfate. So there's no petrochemical carbon here. And this is going to help aid in our cleaning efficiency. This raw material is a semi-solid at room temperature, so it might take a little while to go into solution as well. So this is going in formulation at 7%. Okay, we're going to use our little spatula to scoop this out into our batch. Let's give it a few minutes just to solubilize. Alrighty, so it looks like our anionic surfactant is incorporated into the batch, and we're going to move on to our next ingredient, which is from Jarchem. It is BioPure GLDA, which is a tetrasodium glutamate diacetate. This is our chelating ingredient. So this is going to bind to metal ions in our wash media and make sure that they get washed away in the wash and rinse cycle. Our chelating ingredient is going into our solution at 0.75%. Alrighty, and now it's time to neutralize. So we're going to bring the pH up gradually to 7.5 using 10% sodium hydroxide. This is going to help swell our alkali soluble material, the Acusol 820, as well as provide an optimal environment for our enzyme. Excuse me. So we have our pH meter over here, which I've already calibrated, and it is sitting in water. Dry off the excess water here, and then insert our probe. So right now our pH is about 5.6, and we're going to gradually increase to 7.5. Just increasing the speed a little bit. Okay, we're at 6.8 right now. We're going to add a little bit more. All right, 7.5 pH. Set this in the water and set it aside for now. And now it's time to add our enzymes, which I have to go grab from our refrigerator. So I'll be right back. Right, first up, our enzyme package from Novozymes is the Medley Pure 300L. This is going in solution at 2%. So Medley Pure 300L has our protease, has our amylase, has our pectate lyase, lipase, as well as manganase. So it's going to help get rid of all those stains very easily. And our next enzyme package from Novozymes is Pristine 100L. This one is actually a phosphodiesterase, so it's going to attack DNA in particular. And so our Pristine is going in at 4%. And then, last but not least, we have our fragrance, which is from Our Essence. This is Spring Fever Safer Choice. We're going to add it at 0.1%. So this fragrance has fresh top notes of lavender and orange blossom, as well as green middle notes and gardenia bottom notes. 0.1%, which will be optimal for our enzymes. We don't want to overload with fragrance. And there you have it. So we're going to let this sit at room temperature for a little while, and we'll come back and I'll show you just how clear the new athletic laundry detergent formulation really is. And we're back with our athletic laundry detergent that has been equilibrating at room temperature. As you can see, our air bubbles have dissipated and we have a clear formulation that looks great.
We offer prototype formulations for customer evaluations. And then we can also do performance testing to look at where customers' current formulas are. So some of these tests include laundry performance analysis, dish product performance testing, testing of the degreasing cleaning performance, foam screening, viscosity and rheology characterization, as well as stability and compatibility testing. We realize new regulations can be confusing and it can be difficult to reformulate products for compliance. At Univar Solutions, we're here for you. Feel free to contact any of our global solution centers for help.